whole thing, I feel ukuthi lento yama farmers or the Afrikaners, it's a little bit of a scapegoating thingy, you know, because you're absolutely right. I feel ukuthi they got pissed off. Netanyahu and his allies, they were really pissed off when we took the case to the ICC. And I think what he even threatened us, you know, which is going to come and recolonize South Africa. I don't know if you guys remember that. So now we must also remember ukuthi these people, when they behave or when they act, they do what you call a long game. Let's put it that way. You can clearly see it the way now we, you know, Rwanda is against us, Lesotho is, you know, something is happening there, foreigners and so on and so on. This is a long game, you guys. And on the other hand, our people that are calling themselves patriotic and however they go out there, Bayokuluma committing treason, these Afrikaners. So we have a big situation. Yoguti, we have enemies within South Africa, but the sad part, I don't know whether our government sees this. I don't know what is happening with our government because, you know, the threat is within. Number one, when it comes to foreigners, we clearly witness that and we've been telling it for quite some time now. And we witnessed that yesterday, the way that guy, or the way these African people, they don't like South Africans. And then number two, this AfriForum, seriously, if I was a president, there should be some big consequences. And I think Uguti EFF, I don't know, there's about 4 or 5 parties that went to the police station and opened up a case. I wish maybe we can also open up a case individually, you know, to the police station so that they would really realize what a lot of South Africans, you know, they are against what they have done. Anything that is seek to divide us as a nation. Because when I went on Twitter, I think it was yesterday, and there's this Afrikaans lady, she's writing a long list about their grievances, the things that they don't like isn't where government yet. Listen to this. Number one, affirmative action policy. They're against that. Black economic empowerment, employment equity, skills development. Who would be against skills development?
Imagine.
Nation student financial aid, which is NSFAS.
Yes, they want to get rid of NSFAS because I think they feel intimidated because most of us are now getting educated. Most black people are now educated, the majority of us. So it intimidates them because most of them, we know they don't like going to school, especially varsity.
We are left by our own government, Bantu Doll. You know, as much as we would like to fight, and look at it, we every day kuhlale kunenkinga entsha, every day kunenkinga entsha, funela siphume sibhule. You know, I was talking to a leader of Progressive Forces because we work very close with them. You know, guys, at this stage we're also trying to have a round table. Remember that case of that nurse was where is it from? Ethiopia. Oh,
yes, Ethiopia, the male nurse.
Yeah, and you look at it, it's just so many things. And you also look at that thing with that Nigeria Otoli contract, a contract of 90-something million, you know. And this is a very same person on the other breath okhuluma ngokuthi abahambe enyethu zonikeza ikwerekwere contract. And apparently there's something else as well. There's a Pakistani who is ukulokhu defense force yethu, you know. So as much as Tina, as civilians, we're trying to fight this as much as we can. But to government, to be honest, you guys, that's why when people are saying we must put everything under the carpet and start praising Ramaphosa for what? I would rather keep quiet. I know what we're saying, what we have to be patriotic, we must be really behind him, but for the better of me, guys, I definitely can't. I was not affected with indaba yabantwana that were poisoned, all right? But for me, it did cut deep because I am a mother, I have children. For that man to literally go to kubantu ababulala abantwana bethu and he wants to know how much profit are they making, I haven't forgotten about that. So I am not gonna stand on the platforms and ask abantu to rally behind this man. I would rather keep quiet. If I don't have anything good to say, I would rather keep quiet, you guys. But to be honest with you, government wethu siyekelelile for far too long. If he was really serious about this, he must deal with the enemies within. Number one, onke la makwerekwere need to be deported. And number two, the members of AfriForum, all over 300 and something thousand, they need to be dealt with. And if I was the government, I would deport the hell out of them, all of them. Because obviously, that's the majority that is seeking to divide South Africans. And you know the funny part is, when it comes to the whites now, they're also divided by themselves. Afrikaners do not treat other white people properly.
Yeah, true.
But you will find Uguti, the very same white English people, some of them, they would rally behind these Afrikaners. And these poor white people, they don't even have bloody properties. And you ask yourself, why are you rallying behind this Afrikaner? Is it because of the same skin color? And yet you are suffering. You're lining up for risasa. You have nothing. You are unemployed. You have absolutely nothing. And then to be doctrinated by these people on the basis of the skin color. So same thing is happening with the white people as much as it's happening with the black people, because you find other black people saying, no, we must look the other way when black foreigners come into the country, and we must forgive them or seek because on the basis of this, the skin color. So a lot has to be solved, and we can only do so much as the civilians. But to government, seriously, you guys, we need to do something about this. And upcoming elections, we must try. Lendo yokuthi sithi Ramaphosa, we're backing him. No, we must really. We must lobby, we must do whatever we can. Ukuthi iy'namba ze-ANC nje zehle on the next election. All these three parties, DA, EFF, ANC.
100%, Sis Ntando. Our government
used to living and eating nice.
I'm gonna ask you something, my brother, before you get into that part of your submission. I want us to go back on the land issue. Is that okay with you?
No problem.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I hear your submission. You agree with Commander Josh Uguti. The stats are not correct, and as a matter of fact, it appears that you're saying, Uguti, the majority of land is owned by either the government or the black people. Correct? Am I correct there?
Correct. It's not owned by the government. It's owned by us, black people. Government just own a tiny a bit of land.
All right. So now that leads me to the next question. Since then, the majority of the land, you say, is owned by the black people. Do you agree then, Uguti, then umlungus are being persecuted, as Donald Trump esho, in terms of land? Terrible things are happening to them because now there's this bill. And a lot of people feel what it is against abantu abamhlophe. And then those who have read it, they say it is not race-based. It's actually addressing the situation of land, but it's got actually nothing to do with the white people as such. So now here's another argument that comes in. You know what? As a matter of fact, the white people are not really even owning that much of a land. So now why are they so scared? One, if the expropriation bill is not really focusing on them. And then number two, if it is then true, the majority of land is not owned by them. And then what is this all hoo-ha? And then again, that thing, do you agree with these people are being persecuted for no reason?
Okay, let me start by saying this. I'm going to make a small example, right? You see, with for instance, the Nigerians, right? They are doing wrong things in South Africa. They are selling powder, they are doing kidnapping and everything. When South Africans are complaining, they want to kind of recruit all Africans to come and fight this battle with them, that South Africans are wrong. You understand? It is not all white people that loves farming or that are even interested in land and big land, but there's a small portion that owns 5 farms, 1 family. And the Stellenbosch guys is mostly them. You understand? They have put this land as surety on some of their loans, even overseas. So once they've been stripped of that power, it's a problem for their wealth. You understand? The people that we see that we are suffering right now, if that guy would sacrifice at least 5 and left with 1 or 2 farms, our people that you're seeing that you're saying they're staying in squatter camp, that is their land. That's where they're supposed to be. But these guys are so greedy. That is why you see a lot of white people, especially this week, have come up and say, no, you understand, we are not with AfriForum. We are not with this one. These guys that are fighting are the guys that are benefiting from the land, and they know that they have stolen the land. They know that they didn't acquire it in the right way, and they know that they cannot even challenge the law, because if they did bought it, trust you me, it's not something for them to worry about, because they will produce the papers and prove that they did bought the land fair and square. You understand? So because if you bought it, the government is not saying that, it's saying that show us proof that you bought it. Those that have done things the right way do not have a problem. The problems are the cartel. The problems are the criminals in the white community. You understand? That has leased land to government, number one, that have leased land to other farmers, that is benefiting hugely into the stolen land. And now they're trying to gather or kind of recruit every white person or every Afrikaner, you understand, to come and say they are taking us. That is why you see other Afrikaners or other white people are saying, no, this is not our battle. These people are right. They deserve the land. Because they got nothing, they don't benefit anything. That's why I always say, if one is protecting Africa, for instance, Africa interest, and say, let's unite, he's benefiting something in Africa, or he's renting out foreigners. There is something that is getting. But if you got nothing to say, why would you get yourself in a mud? Why would you just die for something you don't even benefit? I don't know if I answered you.
Thank you so much for that answer, my brother. I hope you haven't lost your train of thought today. You can continue with your other submission. You were getting on to something else. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. So now, again, before I forgot this part, these guys have monopolized the farming industry, starting from the seed, starting from the seed, the feeds, the fertilizers. Those are the main things, and the dams, not forgetting the dams, because there are some places whereby water, it's even if you have boreholes, or your water will finish. If you have a 50 hectare that you have planted cabbage, you will need supplement of water from the dam. But if this guy kind of build their own dams and cut water to flow, it means you in the middle, you're not going to get water. You just have to depend on rain. You understand? Once they say fertilizer, I think it was last year or 2 years back, there was a huge shortage of fertilizer, the phosphate, I think, and the potassium, and so that thing, they have the fertilizer in huge numbers. Roundup is one of those things. They acquired that thing in huge quantity. And for instance, Roundup, you only find one group of guys in Free State or KZN that control the sale of Roundup, or that control the sale of a particular fertilizer. So if they're saying to you that we are out of stock, so he's literally saying that I'm going to let my brothers to get the fertilizer as much as they get. You just wait. And already you planted, thinking that Obaro has stock, or all these agricultural shops have stock. And you are left But these guys are farming. Their fields are green. They are making tons and tons of maize and wheat and you name them. This thing does not affect us. It only affects black and medium farmers. But for them, it's a cartel. They have monopolized it, including the seed. They will give you seed that even if you plant there, your maize is going to be small, but their maize will be the tallest. You understand? So that's where the problem will come now. These guys need to be cut their wings. Their wings are too big, especially for our economy. And they know very well that one of the weapons that you can have over the people or the country is to control the food. Once you control the food, you can have the economy, you will come and beg to us. It's not like they know how to farm. They don't know how to farm. Anyone can be a farmer because Google is here, TikTok is here. You can ask even people, and our people literally knew how to farm, and they're the one that is doing the work. So literally, this guy just come and drive big buggies with carrying pistol and just making noise and beating the workers, and they call themselves farmers. They are not. They are investors. In my view, they are just investors. So it will be. It's a hard mountain to climb for us, because even if we get money, we really need to now get access to dismantle their monopoly in seed, feed, and dams, because these guys own dams. I don't understand, how do you own a dam? You find a dam, all of a sudden you control it, you put things, they cut water, it cannot flow. You understand, you are the boss. The government have to come and beg you and pay you and compensate you and do all those nonsense. You understand? So the battle is real. And yesterday I think you guys were talking about farming, and some will say, no, don't discourage us, we need to start. You see, family, the truth of the matter is, farming is not for the weak. Farming is only for the strong in our people, and we must not just go there because we have the resources, or we think that we are tough. It will clean you completely. It will make you bankrupt, and you will own people workers will even unalive you, for that matter. And at the end of the day, you lost everything. You understand? It's something that we need to start it small. Start it as groups, as cooperatives as possible, learn as much as we can, because it's an industry that is not like a tender. You come tomorrow, you are a millionaire. No, you will sweat, and it's hard physically because you have to be there. While you're doing farming thing, Joburg, and you expect to reap tons and tons of maize, it's a little bit far-fetched, because there's element of theft, there's element of natural disasters. You know, there's a lot of things that can come, that can make you lose millions, because they can come and steal your tractor, steal your livestock, and steal your produce before you harvest, immediately before you harvest. And there's nothing you can do. You go and open a case and you lost everything. So it's something that we need to gather. We need to form groups. We need to do this thing as a team. You will never know everything alone. There's a lot of things. Nduna, for instance, knows a lot about livestock, and he doesn't know everything. You understand? There's new technologies, there's new ways of doing, there's cheaper ways of doing. You understand? But we cannot say, no, Basotho people are the only one that knows how to look after cattle. No, that's fallacy. That's definitely, that's wrong. You understand? Yes, our people, some of them, they act like sissies because they want to go to the taverns and leave the farm, and people will come and steal. So that is why a lot of farmers will get frustrated and find these guys. But if we work as a team, learn together, approach this thing as a unit. But if individually, chances are we're not going to win in the next 50 years to come. Now, I don't want to lie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jay. Yeah, I was there yesterday, and I heard a lot of figures were flying around, 5 million and so on. But now not everybody has that huge amount of capital. Mina, from my point of view, Uguti, why don't people start small? I mean, one hectare, for an example. you know, and see ukuthi izinto zihamba kanjani, especially maybe if you were raised that way, you know how to farm and things like that. I don't know. Ngiye ngithi kufanele uqale ngokukhasa kuqala. You start by crawling before you walk and before you run. So if we're gonna, you know, scare abantu ukuthi, oh, this is a huge amount of capital that you need, I mean, that's when you're really talking about huge commercial farming. We do have subsidiary farming. We do have abantu abarana co-ops. You don't have to have huge amounts of, you know, maybe you can buy a smaller nyana thing and then you grow from there. That's the way I see it. But I feel ukuthi people need to start somewhere. If you feel ukuthi this is something that you want to do, not because uzukuthi kuthiwa there's money to be made, as you're saying ukuthi there are pit and falls and there's plenty, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Crops, a lot of things can happen, you know. So yeah. Let's we have a guest on a panel. Photo, I can't read your full name. Welcome.
Thank you for